Kia ora everyone, I'm TJ, welcome to my channel. If you are new around here and you want to become part of a compassionate, caring community who want to raise awareness about cases and seek answers for victims and their families, you're in the right place. So please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe button, which is down there somewhere, and join us. If you are a returning subscriber, many thanks, because I so appreciate each and every one of you. So today we are talking about Brett Fraser, this guy somewhere that way, and he was killed in 2014 and the case remains unsolved, so we're going to have a look into it. I genuinely don't mean any disrespect or grief to anyone involved in these cases. I cover all the information I use is freely available on the internet, and my hope is to raise awareness of these cases, keep them alive, and I really wish we could help find some answers. Let's get into it. In this case, it's going to be really short because there literally is only a few articles that I can look at. There's a few more, but they're all just repeating the same thing over and over again. So we're going to start here at stuff.co.nz. Police seek mystery men in relation to Brett Fraser death, and this was July 2015. Police offering a $50,000 reward for information on the death of an Auckland man last year are looking for two men seen near his property the night of his death. Please be aware that the reward has finished now. Brett Fraser, 51, died on the night of Tuesday, October 21st after he was attacked at the warehouse turned apartment property he shared with his flatmate in West Tech Place, Glen Eden. Let's take a look where this happens. So this is Auckland. We'll just zoom in again if my computer does what it's supposed to do, which is not always the case. So over here we've got West Tech Place, and I'm not quite sure why it's not going all the way around there. And one of the articles does mention Brandon Road, so that's why I've put it there. If we take a look from the satellite, if you look around sort of West Tech Place, this is very commercial around here, and we do know that it was sort of a converted place he was living in. There is houses all around here, but very commercial. Let's get back to the article. Police believe the incident was motivated by a cannabis robbery, said Detective Inspector Bruce Scott. Fraser's flatmate was running a growing operation at the warehouse and had recently harvested his plants. Around 9:30 p.m, the flatmate was upstairs and described hearing Fraser call out to him. He began to move downstairs but was assaulted by a man wearing a balaclava and holding a sharp object. The flatmate was then ordered back upstairs to show the offender where his Mary Jane was. He handed over the Mary Jane, but when he came back downstairs he found Fraser wounded on the floor. Fraser had suffered a blunt force injury to the top half of his body, and he sadly died at the scene. Detectives had chased down a wide range of leads, but these were now exhausted, Scott said. He said, "We are certain that there are people out there who know what happened last October, and this may make them rethink their loyalties." And I just want to say that that's the reason we put these videos out there. The ones, sometimes really old ones, or, it doesn't really matter. But all it needs to be solved is someone to come forward a lot of the time. And people change their alliances. They will not stay loyal. Sometimes they'll have breakups, or friendships will end, or people will grow up and mature and think, I think it's about time I spoke about this. So that's what we hope about anyway. He said, "We are certain that there are people, again, out there who know what happened last October, and this may make them rethink their loyalties. Cameras were in place at the location of the incident but weren't working at the time." He said the Mary Jane growing operation was a part-time enterprise and said there were a few plants. He said, "We don't believe this particular grow was organised by gangs, it was more for personal use. But that doesn't rule out gangs being involved." A pair of black motorcycle leathers, a jacket and pants were also thought to have been taken by the offenders. Fraser had nothing to do with his flatmate's Mary Jane activities, said Scott. Yes, he was living at a house where drugs were being grown, but no one deserves to die on a cold warehouse floor at the hands of another, and no one has the right to do this to another person. He's absolutely bloody right. Last year, police appealed for 2 men who were seen in the area at the time of the attack to make contact. Scott confirmed that they were still looking for these men and hoped the reward money might change any allegiances. It seems, unfortunately, it did not. The 2 men were seen walking on West Egg Place and had come from the direction of Brandon Road about 9:30 p.m. The first is described as mouldy, medium build and tall. He had a full beard. He was carrying a black and white striped shopping bag and wearing a t-shirt and black Dickies style shorts. The second man is mouldy and in his 20s. He is shorter than the other man and of stocky build. He was wearing a t-shirt and knee-length shorts. Obviously, the reward is not on offer. Information here about who to call, but I will put that in the description box below and have it on the info sheet shortly. Moving to the next article, stuffagain.co.nz. Loved ones are not confident West Auckland man's killer will be found. This was aired in October 2018. Mystery DNA may hold the key to the unsolved murder of a West Auckland man. However, 51-year-old Brett Fraser's family and friends are losing hope that the killer will be brought to justice, as it's been just over 4 years since he died, and this was 2018, so it's been a couple more years. His brother Brooke Fraser said police still don't know who the DNA belongs to and that they'll have to wait until that person, quote, does something stupid so they catch him, unquote. The cop said to me, look, we'll get the person, but it might take some time. If the person is not a very good person, they'll trip themselves up. They'll upset their wife, and their wife will narc on them, and that will be it, Fraser said. Yeah, well, obviously we're waiting for that to happen. Despite a $50,000 reward offered by police, nobody has been charged for Brett's death. Fraser said he believed everybody has closed rank. He said, what we think is people have closed shop, so they're not saying anything, and anybody that does know something is staying quiet to protect people. At the end of the day, the people that do know more have to live with that guilt, Fraser said. I have to tell you that in one of the other articles, he actually died, which is very sad, his brother. One of Brett's best friends, Curly Moe, said he has lost confidence that Brett's killer will be caught and brought to justice. There are several people out there that know more that they're letting on. Maybe they feel that their lives would be threatened if they talked, he said. The devastation he felt when Brett was killed has since turned to anger. Waitemata Police Detective Senior Sergeant Roger Small said, police have not charged anybody and the investigation remains open. We want nothing more than to find those responsible and hold them to account for the abhorrent crime and to provide Brett's family with some closure, Small said. Police would not comment on specifics of the case. Detective Inspector John Sutton, Waitemata District Manager of Investigations. God, some of these cops, they have long intros, I tell you. Said a review of the file has been undertaken and is ongoing at this time. He said we are not prepared to comment on details in relation to this case while the review is going on, which is expected to take some weeks. Again, there's some information there, but we will have that for you in the description box below. So if you have any information about any cases that I cover, please contact Crimestoppers 0800 555 111. You can go online, you can also call 105 or go to your local cop shop. nzmissing@gmail.com. If you have any case suggestions, please come and join our Facebook page. We have a wonderful community there. I want to give a big, huge thank you to Kaya Rose for your donation. It's really appreciated and it goes back into the maintenance of the show and the Facebook page. So there's other ways there to donate. They'll be in the description box below. Please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. It means the world to the channel. It means that more people can find the case, gets more coverage, which is what we want, and share this where you can. Let's keep moving. So we're actually on the last article, and like I said, there just wasn't much, but these cases still need to be told. So we're here at nzherald.co.nz. Coroner probes Brett Fraser cold case murder. This happened in just 2019. The inquest into the cold case death of Brett Fraser has ruled he died of unnatural causes due to blunt force trauma to the head. Coroner Shortland presided over the inquest at the Auckland District Court today. Fraser, 51, died on October the 21st, 2014 in his apartment in a converted industrial warehouse on West Tech Place. The night of Fraser's death, 3 men reportedly arrived at the flat about 9:30 p.m. The flatmate told police Fraser called out to him as he came downstairs. He saw the 51-year-old being assaulted by a man wearing a balaclava and holding a sharp object. He was then ordered upstairs to show the offenders where his Mary Jane was located, said Detective Sergeant Bothamley. He complied fully with their demands and handed over the Mary Jane, which was in 3 plastic containers, approximately 3 litres sized each, and then the offenders fled. Mr. Fraser lay wounded at the bottom of the stairs, and despite first aid attempts by his flatmate and emergency services, he was unable to be revived. I want to just pause and the poor flatmate. It's obvious he complied with everything the offenders wanted him to. It wasn't a huge grow operation. It was just something small for himself, because we know Brett Fraser was not involved in that. He also tried really hard to save his flatmate, and he couldn't, and he's got to live with that for the rest of his life. And I really want to reach out and say, dude, that's just so tough. And his flatmate was also attacked and suffered head and arm injuries. He said, "My flatmate was an innocent man. They should have left him completely alone," the flatmate said in a statement provided through police. Despite exhaustive police inquiries and a $50,000 reward, which has since expired, no one has ever been arrested in relation to Fraser's murder. Police even said they would consider immunity from prosecution for anyone who could help find the killer. When the reward was offered, police said while Fraser had been living in a house where drugs were being grown, that, quote, "no one deserved to die on a cold warehouse floor at the hands of another," unquote. This is another sad story, as all of them are. Now, let me know if you like these short ones. They need a forum, and I'm just not sure what that is, if I continue to do short ones on here, just the same as the rest, or perhaps I do lives on YouTube and do short cases there. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much for spending time with me. Be safe out there, be kind, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.